Hey everyone, so before we get started, I would like to put out a disclaimer. This video is in no way, shape, or form trying to criticize or put down or just bash uh, the persons mentioned or the social institutions mentioned. It's just my train of thought and how I feel about certain things. I hope you all will enjoy the video. So, for the first random opinion, influencers teaming up with hospitals to do paid partnerships are shady. Hear me out. By the time a hospital tries to reach out and work with certain influencer XYZ or ABC, I kind of feel some type of way because healthcare is not something that should be played around with. And the interesting bit is that I've noticed is that for them, when they go to the health institutions, most of them their payments are waived, or unaambiwa lipa 40% will cover the 60%, and they will never tell you this for sure. And they get like a grade treatment. If it's inpatient, if it's outpatient, unashughulikiwa chap chap. Wewe kama mwananchi raia, go to those hospitals kieleweke. There was a certain case that is going around social media streets about a certain hospital that was being like marketed by a certain influencer, and it really raised eyebrows on how the person was being dealt with, especially the fact that the said person in question was actually expecting and had a miscarriage, and how the hospital handled it. It was just messy, really, really messy. And I understand, go get your unga, go put food on the table, but compromising the standards of the institution just so that they can cater to you is quite wanting, genuinely speaking. I myself have worked in the healthcare industry. I've seen it firsthand, and there's always the humanity aspect in healthcare, that it's supposed to be for all. So when you start having preferential treatment just because one person is doing your marketing of the hospital, it doesn't. It leaves a very distasteful, taste in my mouth, and in my point of view, I wish, generally speaking, if they really wanted to work with hospitals, they maybe like partner up during like World Kidney Day, or World Diabetes Month, or something along the lines of such you know such celebrations, maybe to see how things in the ground vile kuko, like with World Cancer Month or breast cancer, whatever the case is, World Mental Health Day. Those things should be really, really looked into, and hopefully try to work things and try to find a better route for even their own followers, because it's always a facade that is being painted, and hey, as I said, reality kwa ground ni different. Second one, the aspect of perfection on social media is now getting out of hand. For those who follow me on Instagram, when I post Insta stories, when I'm recording them, I'm always on the regular schmegula, aspect. I rarely put like a full face of makeup, try to dress up and everything. No, whatever I want that day, and it's a review, I'll have to do it whether I like it or not. I'm not trying to say that I'm crusty looking or nimejachilia. No, it's just that this is me as I am. This is me when you meet me on the streets. This is me when, let's say, I have my own errands. Because perfection does not exist. Plus the fact that people are trying to attain unrealistic beauty standards is, as I said, it's just eyebrow raising. And there's a reel I saw on Instagram where there's a person trying to reply to one of the comments under her reel, saying that, oh, why are you posting when you're regular, like looking regular? especially on your Insta stories, and I'm like, really, where tumejisahau ama ni nini? Why should I like all doll up and everything and then go, then for a few minutes I now get back to, let's say, my PJs or my loungewear and niendelee na shughuli zangu just to please people? And I've always like put out this disclaimer. I always find it very cringy when people try to have this perfection aspect of this whole social media space, because social media has brought a lot of so many issues: mental health, unrealistic beauty standards, and quote unquote food disorders. Like, we're trying to run for kitu yenye haiko, let me put it that way. And one day, one time, I know these conversations are ongoing, and I pray that it shouldn't stop, because real people are really, being affected. And it's okay to be normal. It's okay to be crusty looking. It's okay to be regular schmegular. Like, someone won't crawl out of your phone from, a social media account and try to attack you just because you're looking regular. No. Kila mtu saizi is trying to, put food on the table, just to provide the bare minimum. And, we should try to be kind to one another. We're never going to be the same. And being different actually is quite good. The third one, and I know I'm going to get the absolute smoke for this: being child-free is very okay. Hear me out. Let's say in the corporate space, you find most people, like, who are in their 40s, 50s, have kids, got married and everything. And there may be guys in their late 20s, early 30s who don't have kids, who aren't yet married. But you'll find like these guys who are already have kids and married, they come try attacking guys who have, who made the decision to be child free. Stay there, mbono unachukua off days, you don't have responsibilities. Who said I don't have responsibilities? And I'm speaking from what I've read online, especially in the Kenyan, in the Kenyan setup. Someone was saying, who are you to say that I don't have responsibilities? Naendelea kusoma. Some guys I know are pursuing masters, some are pursuing PhDs, some have their own like side hustle projects. And for someone to come attack another person just because of their decision, I find it very, very immature. If you're so pressed about someone not trying to have kids, or genuinely like exclusively wamesema it's a wrap, I'm not doing this, kabisa, like it's out of the picture, why are you so bitter about it? Like, nikienda zangu mapema nyumbani ushakasirika. Like, please do your own thing. Niko na shughuli zangu as well. And also family members who try to pick on people just because they've not settled. Maybe people are planning to be the rich aunties that we've been saying, and rich uncles that we've been saying on Instagram and the other social media platforms. Because let's be honest as it is, parenthood is not for everybody. To say maybe they leave you. People want to glamorize motherhood. People want to glamorize marriage, but not everybody is up for that, and that should be okay. My question has always been, if you're always trying to poke people of their child-free decisions, why don't they poke on people who who decided to have kids? Just asking. Because if you look at it, for example, let's say somebody got married, settled down, trying actively for a child. First pregnancy was a miscarriage. Second is a miscarriage. One way or another, the woman is always blamed. What about the man them? People always say, oh, mwanamke na shida na shida. Imagine when medical tests are being done, you find out that the man is the one with the issue. Like, I find it so very hypocritical. On one side, you attack somebody saying who's trying to actively have kids, and tell them, oh, can you try give your husband a child before he ends up going outside and getting another child from somebody else? While on the other side, someone is shaming you for not having kids. Like, when does the double standards actually stop? Another thing concerning being child free, someone talked about the procedures of birth control, whether it's IUD, whether it's the pills, whether it's whatever the case is, and even by tubal ligation or even vasectomies. Especially the BTLs and the vasectomies, they are super expensive. And the ongoing conversation is that when can we actually reach a point where gynecological services or reproductive health services are going to be affordable? And I actually sat down and researched about this, and I got into a rabbit hole. It is super expensive. Side effects, bado ziko. You can't run away from them. And it's more of dancing with your fate, because this one will work, this one won't work, this one inakuletea effects zingine, ESG, and it's just a whole mess on its own. So what I would actually say, let child-free people, let them be vile walivyo. If that's the decision that they made, that is it. They can't please anybody, for sure. And it also plays in the aspect of consent. For example, when you actually offer somebody, a cup of tea, and they say, yes, I would like a cup of tea, it's the same aspect. If they tell you, no, I don't want to have a cup of tea, will you ask them why? It's the same case when people are being asked about why they are child-free. For example, person X will ask, are you child-free? And maybe person, Y would say, yes, I am. Most people, like person X, will go now deeper. Oh, why you not having kids? Why decide? Like all those questions. When someone tells you that they don't want to have kids, respect that decision. Point blank, period. And that is it. The third one, oh Lord. Beauty maintenance is at an all-time high and is becoming unrealistic. For example, for the ladies out there, you have to get your nails done, you have to get your hair done, you have to get your skincare products, let's say jewelry, shoes, and everything. But so we're looking at the aspect of personal hygiene. If you break down the cost of all that, you'll actually sit down and just reevaluate your life. And with, as I said in another point previously, social media plays a huge role in making these maintenance very like unrealistic and super expensive. If you look at eyebrows tinting, you put what is it called? You do microblading, you do individual lashes, maybe you do wear human hair wigs, maybe you have to do acrylics, you have to go for your wax appointments, you have to go for all that. You will find even somebody is spending up to 70k because of maintenance, just maintaining the way you are. And for most people out here, just getting normal braids, doing like a simple skincare routine, we've complicated the whole maintenance. Just a simple cleanse, tone, moisturize, sunscreen, kuna serums katikati, sijui kuna nini katikati. You're like, by the time you're even getting those products, and with skincare products, you really have to move around and play to see which works best for the said individual. This is money being involved, and most people relative to ground cannot afford these high-end brands. And that's why I actually like drugstore brands, because they actually still do the same thing. The likes of Cetaphil, the likes of what's called CeraVe. Most of these brands work quite well, and not everybody has the the purchasing power to buy high-end products. That's one thing. And maybe with people bashing other people's social media on social media, just cause or merudiangu, or just cause they have that hairstyle because it's cheap, they can't buy the latest wig or anything. It can become really draining. And I'm speaking, for example, from my point of view. I usually don't have wigs or anything. I either put my hair on contours, I relax my hair, or I put it on braids. And I'm always makeup free, so I usually tend to play around with what is available, what can wait, and what works best for me. And that is I'm very contented with that, don't get me wrong. And that expensive beauty maintenance, it's off the roof. Unafika point where like, okay, Mrs. And let me just stick to what the routine that works best for me. So the last one, the aspect of comparison, the spirit of my peers are doing this, that has killed so many dreams. It has brought down so many souls. It has brought about an aspect of feeling left behind. And it's sad because you kind of tend to feel as if, one has seen their classmates, their former colleagues, people are going to other workplaces. You're trying to figure out your first 8 to 5. It's not easy. Same thing with content creation. Everyone has the high-end phone. You don't. You're struggling with a budget phone, and it's not certain kitu rahisi, and most people are living with their folks. Well, that's what people won't tell you out here. Some are living with their folks. Case study, me mwenyewe. And it actually feels like the fact that I don't want to put myself in a lifestyle that I mwenyewe cannot sustain it, just because my friends are doing it, or just because other people are doing it. It doesn't help. It's very toxic, even in jobs, like, and in school, for those people who are still continuing with studying, whether it's for masters, postgraduate diplomas, or PhD. The spirit of my peers has killed so many. And what I can actually say is that everyone's journey is different, because when you say that you're feeling far behind, you're actually following somebody's path, yet you're in your own path. Kila mtu anaenda na time yake, kila mtu anaenda na pesi yake, and that's all. So generally what I can say is that one should just have sufficient grace, because I know it can get very, very rough, and it can break your heart. Unajisikilia huruma, but I think I came to realize kujisikilia huruma won't take you anywhere. You'll just be stagnant, and you kind of feel as if, siendi bahali. But try to get yourself out there and do things right, and one day, one time, it will eventually pay off. There's something I saw from the Chiseled Adonis. If you've never watched his content, I will leave an icon to his channel on the screen. There's something he posted from a screenshot from his Twitter account, akaini post on Instagram. Something pertaining the fact that you have to put the work. Nothing ever comes easy. We want results, but you don't want to put in the work. How does it work? So it kind of resonated, and the fact that for example, for those who know, I graduated, a bit late, and I felt as if maybe I'm far behind. I left my, my former workplace, and I'm trying to figure out what next. You're seeing your colleagues, doing quite well. Unaona content creation. I'm still trying to find a place, and trying to get my stuff together. It is not easy. And still, I'm living with my folks. Wallahi si rahisi. But I know one day, one time, itajipa. Na ipo siku. I know for sure. And God can genuinely bear, witness to that. So anyway, if you have, opinions differ to what I've stated, I would like you to share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd highly appreciate it. And also, disclaimer, please do not fight in the comment section if you're gonna comment. Everyone has the right to speak about whatever they feel, but don't insult anybody. Keep that in mind. Anyway, that's just about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.